Welcome to ComputerKeyes tutorials. In this video, I'll show you some tips and tricks to help you use KeyesOverlay more efficiently. I will also be highlighting a few features, including adding barcodes to your overlay, using the anchor and unanchor buttons to manipulate multiple objects at once, and I'll show you how to use the locate, copy, and move object buttons to quickly and efficiently give your document a professional makeover. Now, I've already opened up a sample spooled file for an invoice that once upon a time would have been printed onto a pre-printed, pre-addressed form with headings and lines already drawn on the paper, but let's face it, the world has entered a paperless era, and we'd rather keep our documents in small, easily accessible and emailed PDF files rather than stacked up a mile high in our filing cabinets. KeyesOverlay replaces the dinosaur that was the pre-printed form with a completely customizable overlay that is both fast and easy to use. I've started by drawing a box around all of the text, and I'll give it rounded corners with a corner radius of 8. Now I want to draw some horizontal lines. I'll give it a line width of 5 and change the color to dark blue. Now I can make a copy of this line by clicking the copy button and then move my cursor down to where I'd like to move the copy. Right click and select move vertical. I'll do the same for the third line, clicking copy and then putting my cursor down below the bottom of the box, right clicking and selecting move vertical again. That gives us 3 identical lines. Next, I'm going to do some filled boxes, so that later I can write my column headings inside of them. I'll place one here, changing the line width back to 1, making the color black, and adding a filled color of light blue. Now I'll make a copy of it, so that the second box will keep the same dimensions. I'm going to put it here, right click, select move vertical. Now I'll put another box around the date. This one I'll give rounded corners. I'll draw vertical lines to separate the columns. I can right click and select export graphic to draw the line, or I can click the export button on the toolbar. After drawing this first line, I'll copy it and select Move Horizontal. Now I'll draw the other 2 lines in separately since their lengths are different. Next, I want to change the look of the invoice number. To find it under the long list of fields in the Fields tab, I can simply right-click on it and select Locate Object. I want to change the font of the invoice number. This line has a lot of leading spaces, which would push the invoice number off the page if I attempted to alter the field as is. I need to draw the invoice number in separate from its spaces, so I remove the line and re-add just the invoice number under the Work with Spooled Files tab. Now I can change the font size, and the number stays right where it should. Make it Arial, dark blue, size 24 font, and bold. I'll make a few of the other lines bold as well, utilizing the Locate Object button to select each line I want to alter. Now I'll add some headings for the company name and address. Just drag where I want it, click Export. Make the size 24. Make the font Arial and bold. Now for the address, after I finish this first line, I can click Copy and move it down. We already know we are working with 12-point font here, so I can type +12 in the vertical position, and it will move each new heading I make down with the appropriate spacing. I'll hit copy again for the third line and enter our phone number. Move down a little more, plus 14. Now I'll center these lines relative to each other. In order to move all three of these lines to a better position simultaneously, I will unanchor the second and third lines. When I unanchor an object, it causes it to make all of its attributes relative to the previous line. So when I right-click and select Move Object on the first address line, they all move together. If I want to change any other attribute, such as the font or color, the changes would affect all of the unanchored lines below as well. I'll leave them Arial though, and re-anchor the lines to the page. I'll make a heading here saying invoice number. Size 24. Make it bold, dark blue, and Arial. Now I'm adding headings to the columns of the filled boxes. To keep all these headings lined up, I'll copy them as I go, change the text, and then use the Move Horizontal button. The rest of these headings are repetitive, so I'll speed up the video for this portion. I'm just copying the previous headings, changing the text, and using the Move Object buttons to center them within their columns. I put a red heading at the bottom as well, saying thank you. I'll add a company logo under the Images tab. It imports at full size, so I have to change the scaling. I'll put it down to 22%. Now I just have to right-click where I want the upper left corner to be and click Move Object. Now, as I mentioned before at the beginning of the video, KeyesOverlay supports barcodes, and it is very easy to work with them. All you have to do is select the field you wish to turn into a barcode, and select a barcode font. We currently have 6 different barcode types supported. The barcode will not actually display on the preview window. Instead, it draws a box around where the barcode will be located. But when the overlay is converted to a PDF, it will be there. I made a copy of the invoice number field, changed its font to a barcode font. Now I just have to right-click where I want it and select Move Object. The invoice is now complete. As you can see, the barcode appears in the PDF. Thank you for watching. You can visit us at ComputerKeyes.com.